You know, some horror stories are all about the jump scare, right? But others, they're all about the setup. Today, we're going to go under the hood of the Hindi horror short NAUKRANI to break down how it builds this incredible feeling of inescapable dread, piece by terrifying piece.
So the whole haunted house thing, it's a classic for a reason. A building isn't just a pile of bricks and wood. It kind of soaks up the lives of the people who live there. It holds on to memories, secrets, and, yeah, sometimes something way, way darker. Our story kicks off with a house that is hiding a terrible secret.
And that's the real question, isn't it? This is the hook that pulls us in. We're not just in a simple ghost story anymore. This implies there's something intentional here, something hungry. It sets the stage for a story that isn't just about a place, but about a price that has to be paid.
All right, so let's start with part 1, the lure. Every good trap needs bait, right? Something you just can't resist. And in this story, the bait is just normalcy. We meet our main character, Sunita, and she's just a woman trying to do her job.
Okay, so right off the bat, the story gives us this one solid rule. This is our baseline for reality. Mr. Sahani is completely paralyzed, has been for 7 years. He cannot move. And listen, this isn't just some random detail about him. It's the anchor for the entire story. The horror to come only works because we believe this fact is set in stone.
So for 2.5 months, Sunita's life is just normal, totally routine. She comes in, she feeds and cares for a helpless man, and then she goes home. Her world is simple, it's predictable, it's safe. She has absolutely no idea she's walking around inside this carefully built illusion. She thinks she knows exactly who lives in that house. She couldn't be more wrong.
And then we get this. The moment it all starts. And it sounds so simple, so innocent, a totally reasonable request from her boss. But with these words, the trap snaps shut. This seemingly innocent request from Priyanka is what locks Sunita in for the night, turning her from an employee into the prey. Okay, which brings us right to stage 2, isolation. Sunita's stuck inside now, and the entire feeling of the house just shifts. Suddenly, it isn't her workplace anymore. It's a cage, and the first signs that something is seriously, deeply wrong start to creep in.
And look how beautifully the tension builds here. It just keeps escalating. First, this loud crash that just shatters the silence, a clock somehow thrown against her door. Then the chilling discovery that she is locked in, and finally, the moment that breaks that core rule we just established. The paralyzed man is sitting up.
This is the question that just breaks everything. It shatters Sunita's reality, and ours too. The story spent all that time making sure we knew Mr. Sahani couldn't move. Just for this moment, his movement isn't just creepy, it's impossible. It completely breaks the #1 rule we were given, and that's when you get real horror.
So what's her first move? She tries to get help, right? To connect to the outside world. But that lifeline is cut immediately. The call won't go through, and that just cements her total isolation. There's no help coming, no one to call, and worse, no one to tell her she isn't losing her mind. She's completely alone.
And just when you think, okay, it can't get any worse than this, bam, the story does it again. It escalates immediately, from sitting up in bed to standing on his own 2 feet by the window. The impossibility is just piling up. This isn't a passive threat anymore. It's moving. The foundation of her reality is gone, and she is just lost in a nightmare.
And that throws us right into part 3, the anomaly. See, the trap isn't being set anymore. It's been sprung. All of Sunita's confusion and fear suddenly transforms into this desperate primal urge to just get out. She knows this isn't just weird anymore. It's dangerous. The threat is now active. It's coming for her, a knock on her door. A simple thing made absolutely terrifying because it shouldn't be possible. And in all the confusion, she follows him. She's being lured deeper into the belly of the beast, right back to the room where this all started. And once she's in his room, she sees something, a kind of vision, a flashback to 16 years earlier. She hears the voice of Priyanka's mother on her deathbed, making a promise. And this voice she hears, it's not just some random creepy line. It's the first real clue to the why behind the horror that's happening right now. Okay, so her survival instincts just kick into overdrive, but the story just systematically rips away every single shred of hope. She bolts for the front door. It's padlocked from the outside. This was a setup. She runs back to her room, and now he has an axe. Her last hope, her own room,
is also a cage. The window has been nailed shut. Every way out is a dead end.
And that leads us to the moment where it all finally makes sense, the reveal. We've seen the trap, we felt the terror, and now we finally understand why. This is the supernatural truth that connects that promise from the past to Sunita's terrifying present.
And here it is. The big twist. What sounded like a loving promise from a mother turns out to be a curse. Her vow to stay in the house forever wasn't just talk, it was tied to black magic. And it came with a terrible, terrible price, a human sacrifice, every single year to keep her spirit there.
So, who's the real monster here? It's not the old man in the bed. It's the thing controlling him. The ghost of his wife, who dabbled in black magic, is using his paralyzed body like a terrifying puppet. He's both the weapon and, in a way, another victim. It's a truly chilling idea.
So, now that we know the how and the why, the story delivers its brutal, inevitable conclusion. The possessed Mr. Sahani, driven by his wife's evil spirit, attacks Sunita. The hunt is over. The trap worked perfectly.
But wait, the story's not quite done with us yet. This last part, the truth, uncovers the most horrifying layer of the whole thing. This wasn't just a ghost. It was a conspiracy, a dark family secret built on murder.
And this number, it's just staggering. Sunita wasn't the first. Oh no, she was just the latest in a very, very long line of victims. The source says dozens, which means a trail of bodies going back 16 years. The scale of this is just so much bigger than we thought.
And this just lays out how cold and calculated the whole thing is. They target the vulnerable, they lure them in with a simple job offer, but the real gut punch, it's Priyanka's role in all of this. She's not some clueless daughter. She is the architect of this whole nightmare, knowingly sacrificing innocent people just to keep her mother's ghost around.
And then you get this final line from Priyanka. It is absolutely bone-chilling. She comes home, finds Sunita's body, and she's not horrified, she's satisfied. Papa never disappoints. It just confirms everything. This is routine for her. For her, this is just business as usual. This is how they keep the family together.
Wow. I mean, this story is just a masterclass in how to build horror. Not with cheap scares, but by systematically tearing down a person's sense of safety and logic. It leaves you with this really haunting thought. The real horror isn't the ghost. It's the living family members who keep setting the table for it year after year. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, how far some families will go to stay together.